ladies, you're going into your junior year and you've already created 3 different apps, which is crazy. Walk us through how you got started in the tech world, what inspired your original app that got you started.
Our uncle created Doodle Jump. I don't know if you guys played that game, but it was a super successful game, and we were about like 10, 11 at that time. We were obsessed with games in the App Store. We were wondering what it takes to create an app.
People have done this before, why can't we do it too, you know? And we realized that like within the family, we could actually just like keep the business like a family-run business and actually be able to be a part of it. So that was really cool.
So after you decided you wanted to make an app, how long did it take for you to get the actual idea for your first one?
A couple of weeks or something.
It's a longer process to like develop the idea, but to get the original idea is like, it's not too hard.
We were just kind of like, what are we interested in? And we go skiing in Mammoth, and we really like that, and skiing games are really fun. So then we were just like, okay, let's make a skiing game, because that's what we were interested in.
From there, obviously, you have to like figure out all these quirks, like what are you gonna have in it?
Is it so fun to think of with games, like what you're gonna win and how many points?
Oh, yeah. That was so much fun to do, especially because we were 11. Like, games were everything, and it was just so fun. Like, thinking of the coins and the characters and the shapes. Like, honestly, it was so much fun.
For example, one night we sat down and we were like, okay, we need to think of the names for the characters, you know, and you just go through like the list of friends you have. Oh, this is a good cousin's name to use. Or like, oh, our tennis coach's name. We like that name.
From the first app creation, how did it progress into the next 2?
The next app was Mini Ball. That was a watch game, so that was also a game, and we realized with the Apple Watch there weren't a lot of fun games, so that was a good one. And then Synchronicity came. We're more into music, and like we're kind of shifting our focus from games to like other types of apps. For us, a huge way to discover new music was just I would take her phone or my friend's phone and just look through the music, and I was like playing the songs like, oh, I like that, I'm gonna get it later. We realized that it was super inconvenient. What Synchronicity does is it's a super efficient way to see your friend's music library, to listen to the songs, to play the songs. Basically, it compares your music. You can see what songs you have in common, you can see the songs you don't have, and you can buy them straight from there.
When it syncs up, it gives you an index, right? So the percentage of songs that you have in common. When you have that high index, like maybe 70-80%, you know that your taste is similar to your friends. And then that way, like immediately you can go on the songs that you don't have. I think half of my library I found because I was going through her Synchronicity index.
Do you feel like you could constantly be tweaking?
Yeah.
No, yeah. I still feel like we're still going to be tweaking. Like, that's a good thing, is that you can keep having updates.
Technology is evolving so quickly too. For example, with our new app Synchronicity, like we were ready to release it, everything was good, done, and then all of a sudden iMessage pops up, you know, and we're like, well, that's such a cool feature, we have to elaborate on that more.
But what is it like creating an app?
The biggest part is really finding the ideas. After that, you want to start doing like the design process right away. So there's something called wireframing, which is basically go through like the functionality and like what each screen will sort of do. And there you're sort of developing your idea, seeing if like you want to add anything in it, seeing what you have to do to make it into an app.
At least in the very beginning stages of wireframe, you don't even want to be paying attention to the colors or anything. It's really just like what buttons are doing what.
You can literally take a piece of paper and a Sharpie and just draw each screen out.
So then that's when you want to start coding it. The design also becomes more elaborate.
It's a lot of testing after that, actually. Like, we used to have our friends over all the time. You know, you test the app, you see what you can change, what people like, what's easy to use in the app, what people don't get, and then you make tweaks to your app like that. And then that way, you really, when you release it, you actually know that this is something that people can use, that people like using.
As twins, do you tend to be on the same wavelength a lot?
Most of the time, we have similar opinions.
What I think is really great, actually, about being twins and being really close is that you can express your opinion. You can say if you disagree with someone, you just say our opinion. I think that's great.
I mean, no one gets offended, that's for sure.
Thinking about all the processes, which parts do you have to involve other people and which parts do you do yourselves?
We kind of like put ourselves in every step. We have people helping us, of course, with the graphic design, but we're involved in every decision being made.
We sometimes don't have the tools to do it ourselves, but we are sort of like the creative minds, I would say, behind, like, especially the design process.
The coding for WildSky, our first app, we did not have the level to do that. For Synchronicity also, as the technology was going, like, we couldn't really keep up and we had to bring some people in. So we are learning to code on the side.
If someone is curious about how to make an app, or they have a great idea and they really want to get started, what tips do you have for them?
I think the first thing is to really look at the people around you if you want to get started, you know? Like, you'll be surprised how many people are interested in different aspects of app creation. Like, maybe one of your friends is really interested in designing the app. Maybe one friend is actually gonna go learn how to program this summer. If you want to be really involved in it, maybe you have to see what your strengths are too.
Building the app itself is very doable. If you want your app to be huge, then marketing is a really big deal because there are so many apps in the App Store and the competition is crazy. So definitely, I think for marketing especially, it's worth looking into investment, which is also doable.
Everyone can do this. And obviously, you need the right people to do it with, but just because it's a male-dominated environment, girls can do it just as well, and maybe even better. We know a lot of girls that we met at WWDC, and they were really successful, and they have great apps on the App Store. Sometimes people get discouraged because it's got so many men compared to women. Sometimes people feel alone, but you know, there are really people around you that can help you out.
Thank you so much for all of your advice and sharing everything, and keep it going.
Yeah.